Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. The highest teaching of Vedas is that thou art. You are that. The teachings reveals to us our higher nature. Even though we are embodied souls experiencing world individually, in reality, our true nature is that we are absolute divine conscious beings. This teaching is elaborated on the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gītā. Bhagavad Gītā, Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gītā leads us to the understanding of that thou art. Thou is taken and analyzed in the first 6 chapters. That is analyzed in the middle 6 chapters. And art, Asi, is analyzed in the last 6 chapters. The study of the 701 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita reveals to us our own true nature. Through the shoulders of Arjuna, Bhagavan is addressing all of us. In the very first chapter, the despondent state of the mind of Arjuna is actually our own mind. We do have difficulties dealing with this world. It is difficult for us to swallow certain situations presented to us in our life. No matter how brave and strong we are mentally, physically, emotionally, but sometimes situations drain us and we throw in the white towel. Such is the case of Arjuna. He is a strong Kshatriya warrior. He has been trained well. He has been nurtured and taken care of. But when this situation of war presents itself in front of him, he mentally breaks down. But the saving grace is he breaks down in front of Bhagavan Krishna. Bhagavan Krishna takes this opportunity to reveal to Arjuna his own true nature. In the subsequent chapters following the first chapter, Bhagavan reveals to Arjuna that he is not this decaying mass of body. He is neither the changing and fickle mind, neither is he the intellect. He is far more beyond the equipment of body, mind, and intellect. And Bhagavan reveals to him time and again that he is the divine consciousness. So the first 6 chapters, Bhagavan talked about the Jiva Swarupa, the nature of the embodied soul as a divine conscious being. Then Bhagavan said that you're going to have to put in some effort. And Bhagavan talks about the effort as yoga karma sukaushalam, dexterity in action. We should accept that we are in charge of our own life and we must learn to put the best foot ahead of us. And that Bhagavan mentions to Arjuna as Jiva Prayatna, the effort that the Jiva has to make. As dire situations may be, but we should not lose hope. We must continue. For action is all that we have. Then Bhagavan said that if effort has to be there, then effort has to be proper, right, in the right direction. And thus, in the fabrics of chapters 3, 4, 5, Bhagavan reveals to Arjuna that the right action as karma yoga, unite properly with action. Thus, when we walk the path of karma yoga with the understanding that I am that divine being, eventually the fickle mind settles down and the unresolved intellect resolves, and that is known as chitta shuddhi, purity of the intellect, mind intellect complex, antakarana. When the inner equipment is integrated, we will be able to meditate, explore the possibilities in the internal world, the unmanifest mind and intellect. We will be able to take it much higher in the diviner thoughts that Bhagavan explores in the 6th chapter. We now arrive at the 7th chapter. Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Meet God. In this set of 6 chapters, starting from 7 up to 12, Bhagavan discusses Ishvara, that. In that thou art, that. Who is this Ishvara? That is the subject matter of 7th chapter. The Ishwar Swarupa. And what does Ishwar do for the Jiva? The Jiva has to put forth effort, prayatna. So then Ishwar, what does Ishwar do? Ishwar helps us. Ishwar Anugraha, the blessings of Bhagavan. And then what is the path of knowing Ishvara? So Bhagavan says, Upasana. We have to continuously in our mind and intellect remember Bhagavan, understand Bhagavan, meditate upon Bhagavan, assimilate Bhagavan, and in the manifested world take the best step forward. This is the subject matter of the 7th chapter. Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Bhagavan starts out by saying, Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyamya sheshatah yajñātvā neha bhūyonyata jñātavyam avashishyate. Bhagavan says, I will reveal to you Jnanam and Vijnanam. Jnanam is the knowledge aspect. And Vijnanam is the knowledge which is assimilated. One is book knowledge and the other one is assimilated book knowledge. When the book knowledge is made personal, it is the direct perception of this knowledge known as Vijnana. So in the worldly matters, there are so many fields of inquiry, fields of study, and people go to colleges and universities to study, to acquire knowledge. And when that knowledge is assimilated, it allows them to be dexterous in that field. In the same way, over here in the spiritual knowledge, the Jnanam is presented as the knowledge in the scriptures, the knowledge of the manifested world. It is known as Saguna Brahman. So Jnanam is the Saguna Brahman, the manifested reality. And if this manifested reality is there, which has differences, then the differences come about from where? So there has to be a one conglomerate point from where all originates, and that is what Bhagavan refers to as the Vijnanam, the Nirguna Brahman. the uh, the Nirguna Brahman, the nameless, the formless, absolute, without any differences, without any distinction, which Bhagavan in this chapter says is the substratum from which all originates. So Bhagavan says, I will give you knowledge and I will give you this special knowledge, Vijnana, the realization of the Nirguna Brahman. So, in a very simple way, the Saguna Sakar and Nirguna Nirakar, Bhagavan is saying, I will reveal that to you. Then Bhagavan, after introducing the subject matter, he talks about the glory of this knowledge. And the glory of this knowledge is that so many people put forth effort, but it is difficult for people to achieve this. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschinmam vetti tatvatah. Very few will come to this understanding of Nirgun Brahman. There are so many reasons. So many of them don't even know where this truth is available. They may not know the path through which it is available. They may have a path of the Vedas, but may have not acquired a competent teacher to lead them through it. Thus, Bhagavan says that it is difficult for people to sieve through the Saguna Brahman to come to Nirguna Brahman. Arjuna's grace is that Bhagavan is right there in front of him to lead him to this understanding. Then Bhagavan proceeds further on the fabric of shlokas 4 all the way up to 12. Bhagavan talks about the essence of who is Paramatma. He reveals himself. This is meet God. Who is Bhagavan? In this, that pada, what is that? This is the crux of the teaching over here, that absolute divinity is revealing itself. Bhagavan says, Bhumirapo nalo vayu khammano buddhirevacha hankaritiyam me binna prakriti ashtadha. Bhagavan says that there is an eightfold prakriti, the 5 great elements, mind, intellect, and ego, the subtle matter and the gross matter put together. Bhagavan says that this is my lower nature, this is apara prakriti. And para prakriti, Bhagavan is saying that this para prakriti, jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagata. And it is my para prakriti which upholds this multitudes of all these worlds, is upheld by my absolute nature. So what is Ishvara? So Ishvara in simple language consists of the lower and the higher. The lower being matter and the higher being conscious. The lower being matter, the higher being spirit. So what are some basic differences between the two? So when we say the lower Bhagavan talked about as the eightfold apara prakriti. It is jada, it is not sentient, it is saguna, it is with qualities. Sakar, it is with forms. It is savishesha, it has distinctions within itself, and it is dependent upon the higher. So it is paratantra. Now when we look at the higher, the world of spirit, the world of absolute, the world of consciousness. It is Chetan. It is conscious. This conscious is nirguna. It is devoid of qualities. Nirakar. It is devoid of forms, names and forms. Not only that, it is nirvishesh. It has no distinction. It is one homogeneous mass of awareness, consciousness. And it is absolutely independent. Versus matter finds its dependency on conscious for it to express itself. So, the Ishwar, who is this Ishwar? Ishwar is the admixture of the para and the apara. And then Bhagavan says that he's the admixture of both of them. And he reveals that he is the cause of this pluralistic world. What we see as the apara, the lower, it is him, the higher, who is the cause of the lower. And as a cause, he's not a cause like a pot maker making a pot, where the pot maker is different from the pot, utilizing the material of the clay and the round wheel to create the pot. So the pot maker, the instrument and the material with which the clay pot is created. But over here, that's not true. Over here, Bhagavan himself is the efficient cause, the instrumental cause, and the material cause. It is known as abhinna nimitta upadana karana. And when one and only one thing is all three of them, the effect produced is illusion. That's why in our Hinduism, in Vedanta philosophy, we say Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. It is not that it doesn't exist, but the reality of it is illusion. Because one and only one thing is appearing as all. And the example which is taken is the dream state. The mind itself is everything which is experienced as multiplicity in the dream state. So, this is very important what Bhagavan is revealing, because it has great implications. When we open our eyes and look at this world, we are meeting God. When we take bath with water, the water is Bhagavan. When we drink water, that water is Bhagavan. In kitchen, when we cook on the fire is Bhagavan. When we watch the bird chirping in the morning, the sound generated by the bird, that itself is Bhagavan. The sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, everything in fact is Bhagavan and Bhagavan alone. That is the Vijnanam of this chapter. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayoho. Bhagavan reveals that I am the light in the sun and the moon. Buddhim buddhimatamasmi. I am the intellect. I am the divine intelligence in the intellect. All these things Bhagavan is revealing. This is the divine Vijnana which is presented to us. This is what Bhagavan presents to us, that in fact there is nothing greater than me. Matta parataram nanyat kinchitasti dhananjaya. That just like in a necklace, we see the various beads over here, but we see that what upholds this necklace is the thread which is in and through all. In the same way, when we open our eyes and see this world, the understanding is The understanding should be that this is God. And when we understand it as God, our transaction in the world is transformed. When I know that water is God, I don't waste water. I don't pollute water. When I know Mother Earth is God, Divya Gandha Prithivyam, the divine fragrance of the earth, when I know that, I will not disturb Mother Earth, I will not pollute her. In transaction, I am forever changed. This is what Vijnana does. Knowledge of the higher transforms our living in the now forever. Permanently, we are transformed. Now, from shlokas 13 on to 19, Bhagavan presents to us that there is something known as the experience of samsara. And what is the cause of the human miseries, the worries, the anxieties of the jiva, the human beings? So Bhagavan says is our obsession with the apara prakriti, the lower world, is the cause of our own suffering. We go after the material world time and again for all our securities, for our joys. But we have to understand that the lower world is continuously fleeting. The teaching is that the body changes, the mind changes, the emotions are changing, people are changing, weather is changing, political situations are changing, financial situations are changing. Nothing is in my hand. It is as though the world is in one dynamic flux. There's a movement. And if there is a constant movement, then there cannot be a constant delivery of joy. I seek permanent joy, but the world cannot deliver permanent joy as it is fleeting continuously. So, necessarily, if my dependence is on the world for my own comforts and joys, I am going to be dismayed. I am going to be disappointed. So Bhagavan says we have to change our gate from the manifested world to the higher world. Remember, in and through the manifested world, the higher, and when we change our dependence from this world of apara prakriti, the lower world, to the higher world, para prakriti, we will be comforted. And that becomes the subject matter of the next portion of Bhagavad Gītā, that the next portion of the 7th chapter, Devi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. When we resort to Bhagavan, when we worship Bhagavan, we will come out of this clutches. Furthermore, Bhagavan says 4 different types of people are there. Those who are in pain, those who seek material world, those who seek understanding, and those who have actually realized the truth. Arth, Artharthi, Jignasu, and Jnani. So, Arth is the one who is in pain. They are at the level of Apara Prakriti. Artharthi, the one who wants to gain more and more and more from this world, again, they are part of this Apara Prakriti. Jignasu, but there is another one who wants to know the higher. He is now changing the gate from the lower to the higher. And the one who has reached the higher, Bhagavan says, Jnani tu Atmeva me matam. That this person is in fact me and me alone. And that is what Bhagavan says, that Eka Bhakti Vishishyate, this man of wisdom, he is considered to be the high, he is considered to be the best. This one devotion for the higher has now allowed him to come out. So Bhagavan says that if we change our gate, and our gate can only be changed when we change our desires. Whatever I go for in this world, the world will make my faith stronger in that and that alone. So if I go towards the higher, my faith will be sealed in the higher, and my growth will be higher. So bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. So eventually the person reaches the higher, and the higher reaching is in the knowledge. The devotion slowly from the material world, when it is transferred to understanding and knowledge and acquisition and abidance in this knowledge, such a person, when they greet this world, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, sees everything as the glory of the Lord. It is such a person whose vision is transformed. And such a person is rare. They have given up their desires and they have moved in this world through proper upasana. He treated the world properly. He treated action properly. He treated actions properly. He treated people properly. He treated the whole world in upasana as Bhagavan, and the fruit of the upasana is Sarvam Vasudevamiti. He realizes, yes, it is Bhagavan. This is Vijnana. This is abidance in this knowledge. How can this be done? This can be done by converting. It is okay to ask Bhagavan. The kamana, let it be there, but slowly we should convert our kamana rooted in this material world to the spiritual world, the higher. And in this way, we can come out of this clutches of Maya, slowly converting all our desires from smitten with desires to absolute abidance, going from sakam to nishkam. All our actions are done as an offering, where we do everything as an offering to Bhagavan. And in this way, Bhagavan says that such a person will sataya shraddhaya yuktaha tasya adharamihate adhanamihate labate satatak kaman mayeva vihitan hitan antavantu phalam tesha tad bhavat alpamedasam. Little things a person runs after, little things is all that they will attain. But if a person goes for that lasting joy, Bhagavan says, I will be revealed. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyate mam abuddhayaha param bhavam ajanantaha. So, not knowing my higher nature as the absolute, unmanifest, when they don't know that, they keep on going for the lower, and such people will only meet the lower, but the higher one will go to but the one who goes towards the higher ultimately will reach higher. In this way, Bhagavan says that those people who have given up ichha, dvesha, all desires, hatred, likes and dislikes, all of these things, they will eventually come to me. In this way, meet God as Vasudeva Sarvamiti. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Bhagavad Gītā is pointing out the higher ideal, the greater possibilities in human beings. Since it is pointing out this principle called God in all religions, reality in all philosophies, truth by the great thinkers, and therefore Bhagavad Gītā also has been given the status of a scripture, but it is a scripture with a difference.